Good evening, everyone. This will be the last video that I'll be sending out prior to the primary election on July 7th. I just wanted to touch on about 2 or 3 important topics taking place and leave you with a final thought. This July 4th weekend, we have many of the states capitulating, keeping law-abiding citizens from gathering, beaches on lockdown, etc. What's troubling is if law enforcement is ordered by edicts to stand down and allow rioting, protesting, burning of establishments, then why does law enforcement follow these same edicts from these same corrupt leftist politicians who not only put their lives in jeopardy, defund their programs, etc.? Law enforcement has to ask themselves, whose side are they on? I'm hoping it's on the side of the patriots who actually pay their salaries. They should try to remember that governments have no money. The second thing I would like to touch base on is the recent capitulation by so many governors on the side of the testing scam that's taking place. For thousands of years, human beings have been subjected to viruses which have kicked their immune systems into action, creating antibodies. These antibodies are normal. Testing doesn't mean that people are coming down with a major pandemic. The only statistic that's really important is, are people with no underlying symptoms becoming seriously ill? Is there an increase in death? And the answer is obviously not. Using this false narrative, the media and those pushing for these vaccines, etc., are merely trying to subject the population to control, particularly headed toward the November election, which they hope to somehow steal from the President of the United States. And whatever those consequences will be if they do, will be unimaginable. Something else we have to consider. Why is it that Republicans in general seem to capitulate to the party of criminality and to the false media narrative that's taking place on Black Lives Matter? Black Lives Matter has nothing to do with Black lives, folks. The NFL turning around and saying they're going to play another national anthem, they're going to put names of those who have been subjected to police systemic racism is only causing division. It's beginning to alienate Blacks from the American society and sort of regressing from all the decades of progress that we've made. That is their intent. Put Blacks back into a plantation they can control for voting. These are evil parasites that are doing this. These are Marxists who created the Black Lives Matter. They actually admit that they are Marxists. It has nothing to do with Black lives. So many Black lives have been lost during this protesting on both sides, protesters, law enforcement. For those of you who think there's systemic racism, that people in law enforcement who have families themselves get up every morning and say they're going to target a certain portion of the population is just outrageous. These law enforcement individuals are human beings like the rest of us. Will there be isolated cases of abuse? Of course there will. Just like there's bad abuse in the workplace, comments, sexual abuse everywhere, because you know what? You can't mandate individual behavior. All you can do is punish it when it occurs. Law enforcement, by and large, are the ones who take a beating. So are they going to insult all the members of law enforcement who have died trying to enforce the law by posting the names of individuals theoretically that have been abused by police on their uniforms, by painting Black Lives Matter, by having a second national anthem? I guarantee you one thing, the NFL and the NBA are barking up the wrong tree. They're going to have empty stadiums that they're playing to. They might as well go out and play in the parking lot. That is a false narrative they're pushing, just like all the other propagandist junk that the party of criminality is pushing. And make no mistake, between the Marxists, the infiltration of the communist Chinese, and all these elements that are pushing against the Constitution of the United States and the rest of the Americans, they want us under control. the capitulation by some of these Republican governors also now saying that there's nothing wrong with wearing masks. Yes, there is. Are we to wear masks for every potential virus that they tell us could be a pandemic when we know for a fact this is not a pandemic and just an epidemic? Finally, let's get back to New Jersey. We are one of the states who has July 4th and the shore also closed down, destroying businesses. Will law enforcement go after law-abiding citizens? Will they continue to follow the edicts of these corrupt politicians, or will they finally say no more and leave good citizens to their own fate and their own decisions? That's what America's all about. This primary is extremely important. We need to nominate a candidate that actually can win the general election against Senator Booker and hopefully reclaim the state of New Jersey from leftist indoctrination and prevent California East. I leave you with this thought. This is not a popularity contest. You need someone who's going to fight for you. A veteran of the United States Army, a 14-month-old legal immigrant who escaped communism in Greece after their civil war, a person who taught for 25 years in the inner cities of Newark and Elizabeth and has maintained rapport in the Latino and Black American community, whose in-laws happen to be Latino. I'm asking for your vote. We can win this election. So if you haven't sent in your primary ballot, go and fill out a provisional ballot and vote for Eugene Anagnos. I am a veteran and a candidate for the United States Senate in New Jersey. If I win this nomination, if we win this nomination, I guarantee you one thing: we will defeat Senator Booker in the general election. Enjoy your July 4th. Have a great day. And to all patriots, be blessed always.